Here is a psychology fact you are not ready for. You are addicted to your own failure. Most men claim they want to win in 2026, but subconsciously they are terrified of success because success requires the death of who they are right now. Psychologists call this self-handicapping. It is a defense mechanism where your brain deliberately sabotages your efforts through procrastination, distraction, or hesitation, just so you have an excuse when you fail. You are protecting your ego at the cost of your future. But here is where it gets even worse. Your brain prefers a familiar hell over an unfamiliar heaven. You would rather stay in the comfort of your current weakness, complaining about how hard life is, than face the terrifying pain of actually becoming strong. You choose to be a victim because it is safe. But here is the part nobody wants to admit. You are carrying 9 specific parasites in your mind. These are not just bad habits, they are structural weaknesses in your psychology that drain your power before you can even use it. As long as these 9 weaknesses exist, 2026 will be exactly the same as 2025. If that hits you, good. It means you needed it. If you want to break this cycle, you must do more than try harder. You must perform a psychological amputation. We are going to identify these 9 weaknesses and use the samurai method to cut them out of your psyche before the new year begins. 1. The parasite of external validation. You spend your days seeking permission to exist. You post on social media hoping for likes. You dress to impress people you don't respect, and you soften your opinions to avoid conflict. This is the weakness of the social slave. Really, when you rely on external validation, you hand the keys of your emotional stability to the crowd. If they applaud, you feel good. If they silence you, you collapse. You are not a man. You are a reflection of what others want you to be. Miyamoto Musashi lived as a ronin, a masterless samurai. He did not bathe often, he dressed in rags, and he broke the polite society rules of his time. Yet, he was the greatest. In his final work, the Dokudo, he wrote, "Do not seek pleasure for its own sake, and do not let yourself be guided by the feeling of lust or love." He meant that you must detach from the need to be liked. The samurai cares only about the effectiveness of his cut, not the applause of the audience. Psychologically, the need for validation is linked to the sociometer theory, which suggests self-esteem is just a gauge of your social acceptance. Evolutionarily, being rejected meant death. But today, it just means freedom. When you kill the need to be liked, you become dangerous because you can no longer be manipulated. A man who does not care about opinions cannot be controlled by shame. To leave this weakness in 2025, you must practice voluntary disapproval. For the next few weeks, state your true opinion even if it is unpopular. Wear clothes that are functional, not fashionable. Say no to social obligations that drain you. Train your brain to realize that the world does not end when people disagree with you. The silence of your own integrity is worth more than the noise of their applause. 2. The addiction to comfort. You are soft because your life is designed to be soft. You sleep in climate-controlled rooms, you eat food that requires no chewing, and you entertain yourself without moving a muscle. You have become allergic to friction. This addiction to comfort is a weakness that rots the soul. When you are always comfortable, your resilience atrophies. The moment life punches you and 2026 will punch you, you will shatter like glass because you have no structural integrity. The samurai understood that shugyo, austere training, was the only way to forge the spirit. They did not seek comfort, they sought the edge. They trained in the snow, fasted for days, and sat in uncomfortable postures for hours. They knew that a warrior who cannot endure a cold night cannot endure a long war. Comfort is the enemy of readiness. If you are warm, you are sleepy. If you are cold, you are awake. Neuroscience shows that the brain processes physical comfort and safety in the same regions. When you are too comfortable, your vigilance systems shut down. You become slow and reactive. By contrast, voluntary hardship, hormetic stress, stimulates the production of dopamine and norepinephrine, sharpening the mind. You must shock the system to keep it alive. Leave this weakness behind by declaring war on your own convenience. Stop taking the elevator. Stop setting the AC to a perfect temperature. Take cold showers exclusively. Fast until noon. Introduce micro-stressors into your day to remind your body that it is a survival machine, not a pleasure vessel. If you do not conquer the cold will conquer you. 3. The disease of distraction. You cannot focus on a single task for more than 15 minutes. Your attention span has been shattered by short-form videos and constant notifications. You are a dopamine junkie, constantly looking for the next hit of stimulation. This is a fatal weakness. In the modern economy, the ability to do deep work is the only currency that matters. If you are distracted, you are irrelevant. You are busy, but you are not productive. Musashi wrote about the one way. When he fought, the universe narrowed down to the tip of his sword. There was no past, no future, no crowd, only the cut. He taught that you must do nothing which is of no use. Every time you scroll, every time you check a notification while working, you are doing something useless. You are bleeding your spiritual energy into a black hole of algorithmic noise. The concept of attention residue explains why this destroys you. Every time you switch tasks, a part of your brain stays stuck on the previous task. If you check your phone every 10 minutes, your brain never fully engages with your work. You are operating with a cognitive handicap. You are literally making yourself stupider with every click. To cure this, you must adopt monk mode blocks. For the rest of the year, leave your phone in another room when you work. Install blockers on your browser. Turn your screen to grayscale. Treat your attention like a limited resource of gold. Do not throw it into the mud of the internet. Reclaim your mind so you can enter 2026 with a laser focus, not a scattered light. 4. The victim mentality. You blame the economy, your parents, your boss, or your genetics for your lack of success. You use the word because to justify your failures. I can't start the business because I have no time. This is the language of the slave. Victimhood is a weakness that paralyzes action. As long as you believe the problem is out there, you will never fix the problem in here. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus, who was born a slave, taught the dichotomy of control. We cannot control what happens to us, only how we respond. Musashi did not complain about being an orphan or facing multiple enemies alone. He accepted the reality of the ground he stood on and fought from there. To blame is to surrender power. To accept responsibility is to seize power. Psychologists call this an external locus of control. People with this mindset suffer from higher rates of anxiety and depression because they feel helpless. Shifting to an internal locus of control, believing you are the architect of your fate, is the strongest predictor of success. Even if it is not your fault, it is your responsibility. Leave this weakness in 2025 by instituting a zero-blame policy. If you are late, it is not traffic, it is your poor planning. If you are broke, it is not the market, it is your lack of skill. Swallow the bitter pill of responsibility. It tastes terrible, but it cures the disease of helplessness. 5. The fear of solitude. You are terrified of being alone with your thoughts. You fill every silence with music, podcasts, or conversation. You seek crowds because in the crowd you can hide from yourself. This fear of solitude is a weakness that prevents you from ever knowing who you truly are. You are a stranger to yourself because you never spend time with yourself. Musashi spent years wandering the forests of Japan alone. He lived in caves. He practiced kodoku, the path of solitude. He knew that wisdom does not scream, it whispers, and you can only hear the whisper in the silence. It was in the solitude that he developed the two heavens one style. If he had stayed in the dojo with the others, he would have been just another swordsman. Solitude made him a legend. Scientific research on the default mode network of the brain shows that solitude is necessary for autobiographical planning. The ability to create a coherent story of your life and plan for the future. Without solitude, you are just reacting to the environment. You are a leaf in the wind. Solitude turns you into the wind. To win 2026, you must befriend the silence. Go for long walks without headphones. Sit in a dark room for 20 minutes a day and just think. Let the demons come up. Face them. If you can be happy alone, you become invincible because you no longer need anyone to complete you. You become a fortress. 6. The habit of hesitation. You wait for the perfect time. You wait to feel ready. You wait for the fear to subside. This habit of hesitation is the killer of dreams. While you are thinking about striking, the enemy has already cut you. The gap between your idea and your action is where your potential goes to die. You are an intellectual giant, but an action dwarf. The samurai technique of the void teaches that there should be no gap between perception and action. When the water reflects the moon, the reflection is instantaneous. There is no thinking. Musashi taught to strike in the time of a single breath. The moment you decide, you must move. Hesitation breeds fear. Action breeds confidence. The 5-second rule in psychology explains that you have a tiny window before your brain's protective mechanisms kick in to talk you out of something difficult. If you wait longer than 5 seconds, the prefrontal cortex rationalizes inaction. You talk yourself into cowardice. You must move faster than your doubt. Leave hesitation in 2025 by practicing immediate execution. If you have an idea to send an email, send it now. If you need to do push-ups, drop now. Train your body to obey your will instantly. Do not give your mind permission to negotiate. Be a man of impulse, provided that impulse is disciplined. 7. The nice guy syndrome. You are afraid of conflict. You apologize when it is not your fault. You say yes when you want to say no. You smile when you are angry. This nice guy weakness is not virtue. It is cowardice wearing a mask of politeness. A man who cannot defend his boundaries is not a man. He is a prey animal. You think you are being good, but you are actually just being harmless. The samurai were polite, but they were not harmless. They were dangerous men who had their danger under control. There is an old saying, "It is better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war." Musashi avoided unnecessary fighting, but when he had to fight, he was absolute in his violence. You must find your sword. You must be capable of saying no with enough weight that people do not ask again. Psychologically, high agreeableness, the trait of being nice, is negatively correlated with income and leadership success. People do not respect those they can walk over. Respect is earned by having boundaries that you are willing to defend. If you cannot tolerate the tension of a confrontation, you will always be a slave to those who can. Leave this weakness in 2025 by practicing the hard no. When someone asks you for something you don't want to do, say no without offering an excuse or an apology. Sit in the awkward silence. Watch them squirm while you remain calm. Reclaim your aggression and integrate it into your character. Be peaceful, not harmless. 8. Emotional volatility. You only work when you feel like it. You let your emotions dictate your actions. If you are sad, you stop. If you are unmotivated, you quit. This emotional volatility is a weakness that guarantees failure because emotions are weather, but discipline is the mountain. You are trying to build a castle on shifting sand. You are addicted to the feeling of motivation, which is fleeting and unreliable. Musashi practiced Fudoshin, the immovable mind. This is the state where the mind is not disturbed by internal emotions or external chaos. Whether he was calm, angry, fearful, or tired, his sword moved the same way. He did not ask his emotions for permission to strike. He severed the link between feeling and doing. Behavioral activation theory in psychology proves that action precedes motivation, not the other way around. You do not wait to feel good to act. You act, and then you feel good. Relying on motivation is an amateur strategy. Professionals show up when they feel terrible. That is the job. To destroy this weakness, adopt robot mode. When you have a task to do, detach from your feelings entirely. View yourself as a machine receiving a command code. Machines do not have bad days. Machines do not need a pep talk. Execute the code regardless of the weather inside your head. Consistency is the only metric that counts. 9. The illusion of immortality. The final and greatest weakness is that you think you have time. You live as if you will live forever. You say, "I'll do it next year," or "I have time to figure it out." This arrogance allows you to waste days, weeks, and months on nonsense. You are sleepwalking toward the grave, thinking you have an infinite supply of tomorrows. The samurai lived with memento mori, the constant remembrance of death. They visualized their own funeral every morning. This was not morbid. It was a technique to create extreme urgency. Musashi fought every duel as if it were his last, because it likely was. When you know you are dying, you do not waste time on fear, embarrassment, or laziness. You focus on what matters. Terror management theory suggests that most human behavior is a coping mechanism to avoid the fear of death, but avoiding it makes us weak. Confronting it makes us authentic. When you accept that your time is a finite resource that is draining away right now, you stop tolerating mediocrity. Leave the illusion of immortality behind. Write your own obituary. Look at it. Realize that 2026 might be your last year. If it were your last year, would you spend it scrolling? Would you spend it afraid? Use the shadow of death to ignite the fire of life. Wake up. The clock is ticking. You are carrying these 9 weaknesses like a heavy backpack filled with stones. You wonder why you are tired, why you are slow, why you cannot climb the mountain of success. It is not because the mountain is too steep. It is because you are refusing to drop the stones. Validation, comfort, distraction, victimhood, fear of solitude, hesitation, conflict avoidance, emotional volatility, and the illusion of time. These are the 9 chains that held you back in 2025. You have a choice right now. You can drag them into 2026 and repeat the same cycle of failure, or you can cut them loose and fly. But cutting them loose requires more than just a decision. It requires a protocol, a system. You cannot remove a habit without replacing it with a discipline. You need a daily structure that forces you to be strong when you want to be weak. This is why I created 66 Days of Steel, the samurai method to forge absolute discipline. It is not a book. It is a surgical tool to remove these weaknesses from your life. It guides you through the fire phase to burn the bad habits, the hammer phase to forge the new ones, and the polish phase to make them shine. If you are ready to enter 2026 light, dangerous and free, the link is in the pinned comment. Download the protocol, sign the contract, and leave the weak version of yourself in the ashes of the past.